Warren Barney Jr., my Ojibwe name is Papa Se, which means woodpecker, and you get names when you're a little traditionally, so I got a traditional. When I was a baby, I got named. That's a whole lot of thing, naming, but you gotta have names, you'll see as you get older and wiser, your names will change. From your little kid name to right now. Anyway, it's taken me 50 years to get where I'm at. 50 years of partying. Finally, Mary was going to pick up her daughter, and the Lord's kind of always been with me, Not total, but when I needed him. And she was going to pull out, and she stopped in the house to see if I had some sandwiches, so I'd have something to eat. And when she came in, I was bleeding out of my liver. I was bleeding out, and I couldn't see that it was blood right away, but it didn't feel like blood. It was kind of like chunky. And she comes in and she goes, well, we just came from a big birthday party. And so I gave a little talk there for my cousin, and I was feeling okay, and then it just happened, that I was actually dying. To tell you the truth, and I did come real close to death at St. Luke's in Duluth. But see, everything fit in where it was, God was involved, because you don't, that woman, or my doctor said that you don't usually, a human don't usually pull out of that situation. When it happens, you're gone. But anyway, I got a little ahead of myself there, but I grew up on Fond du Lac Indian Reservation. If any of you guys know Rez is, because my little lady said it to me, I'm sorry, my wife. And she goes, you got it easy here, Warren. You don't have to work. You get food given to you. Everything, But then that switches back to, okay, the United States government owes me this, so that was a blame and part of life I went through. And as I was getting older, my dad was a very authoritative man, cruel. I haven't heard nobody say how their dads were, but me and my brothers and stuff, we used to get punched by him, and big leather belts, and So in turn, when I think about it, that made me strong. I was a very strong person because I did all kinds of work, cut pulp, and cut yard way bigger than this yard, stuff like that, and joined the army, and I became very mean, like my father was, because it was. And then on our reservation, I don't know what Kevin knows about reservation. There's got to be a top dog. I was the top dog in them days, so I couldn't, because of my dad, I couldn't. I suppose I could have, but I never thought of that. I couldn't really back down from anybody calling me out. It was all of one age group, you know, young teenagers. So that's the part where I turned mean, real mean, you know. Maybe I got beat up twice. Wasn't, you know, but that's the way it was on the Fond du Lac Reservation. Was who was the strongest rule? So what I said went. Like I had my own gang of brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews. They all were my people because I was the meanest. And then one day, me and Mary were talking, we were coming here. That's not a whole story there. But my mom said, she goes, my boy, she goes, why are you gonna be so mean? You know? She said, why are you gonna be so mean? And I thought about that for a long time. And I said, well, that's just the way it is. But in the meantime, the Lord was still with me in critical life and death situations. I was in 6 car rollovers and numerous car crashes, hitting trees and all that. I was just plain, if you want to call it, living a lie, that I was indestructible. You know, by surviving all that. And then I, this last time, because I don't want to make the story too long, but this last time I ended up in, I was in the hospital and I was bleeding out when she came, you know, home and everything like that. And there was a couple times before that where I actually was in the emergency room and they cut and they took my bladder all once. And all kinds of medical problems due to drinking, because on the reservation, no matter who you knew or where you went or what was going on, there was always alcohol involved. People were either carrying a pint, a quart, you know, smoking reef. You know, just kept, that's the way life was. So I finally came to believe in my heart that's the way life was going to be for me, and I was going to die. When I died, I'd be drunk and, you know, and be like, oh, to my kids, oh, your dad was nothing but a drunk. And then I experienced the spiritual thing. My friend Carol was talking about. She goes, oh, I wish I could be there when it happens when we were at that celebration. And it happened. When I was walking on the steps, it happened right there. It was like God just shot right inside me. And plus dying and stuff. And all that. You know, so I was thinking, you know, I better change this lifestyle. And then I met my wife Mary, and she was sent by God to help me. We were thinking about that. We never, well, not right away, but you know, and I go, well, why would you pick a man that does dialysis, is a drunk, doesn't have to work? Oh, one thing, I got a free house on the res. So that's another easy part of living on a reservation. You know, and you get commodities, I didn't say that. So, I got a free house, I get commodities, and they write you checks sometimes. So, it was an easy life. A real easy life living there anyway.
Easy life that was killing you?
Yeah, too easy, really, when you think about it. I think about it, but, you know, I had jobs. I was in the Army. I got kicked out of there for unsuitable for military service. You know, that was fighting with a drill sergeant. You know, who in their right mind is gonna fight with a drill sergeant? Our little sucker was tough. Stuff like that, and then I've been in treatment 38 times. I never gave up when I got this one social worker, his name is Dave Holland Cloquet, and he never gave up on me. And then I picked up a doctor, and she never gave up on me. That's right. Met Mary, she was. I don't know what these other people say, Warren, but I'm gonna put you in lockup. Who's ever been in lockup treatment? It's pretty much they tell you what you can do for whatever, 38 days or something I did. But I was laying there, it was getting morning, that's usually when I have my wisdom stuff. You get wisdom after you've been alive long enough on this world. But a lot of people don't make it to that age, you know. Especially 50 of our drinking. So, I lost my train of thought there. What was that?
You were talking about that the reservation had been a lie, if you were told a lie for being mean, and your mom had talked about being alive, and
Yeah.
you were
My
gonna go.
dad loved it when you hear that I beat the snot out of somebody, you know, because that's the way he was. And I was living a life for, I'll say a good close to 50 years, you know. That wasn't me, really. It wasn't until God came into me. Then I realized. I realized that, you know, this ain't you, you know, you can be a kind person. Went to college, did a lot of stuff, had many jobs, traveled the United States, a few summers on foot. All that stuff, you know, I did more stuff than, I always tell people that I did more stuff than average person will do in 2 lifetimes, you know, in my life. And I got sick, and what the heck did I get
You
here?
said more than most people in 2 sharing?
You told us your life story. But the real thing.
I ended up in the hospital with that brain poison.
Yeah.
And then that's how how did I end up here? Oh, I met you guys.
Started off.
Some of the parts I can't remember, just back in my memory. But I got that poison that goes in your brain, and you forget stuff. Like I couldn't remember my sweet wife's name. And I really devastated us, you know. I was looking, I thought, no, I couldn't be with that one. Not a nurse. And, you know. So,